UsefulRanger April 19, 2018. Video games are a rather strange medium nowadays, but it used to be a whole lot weirder. There was a time when developers would try and grab as much money from players as possible, and seeing as this was a time before loot boxes, they had to resort to alternative means. The main thing they would try is shoehorning pop culture into their games, most of the time in hilarious ways. Now, not all of these games are bad, and some are still doing it, but they were invariably weird. In case you don't believe that the 80s and 90s were a wild time, I've collated 4 of the strangest games based on pop culture, with one of them being recent to prove they're still up to their old tricks. Revolution X. On the face of it, Revolution X has a simple premise. There is a totalitarian dictator with an unstoppable army that wants to rule humanity, so instead of attacking key cities and military sites, they decide to kidnap the seminal American rock band, Aerosmith. Yes, really. This then causes a young lad to lose his proverbial and go after them in order to rescue his beloved hard rockers. The game is a fairly standard arcade game, with added tinny versions of some of Aerosmith's classic hits. TBH, I'd still play this now. Home Improvement, Power Tool Pursuit. Everyone's favorite Space Ranger, Tim Allen, was a big name in the 90s, even without his Toy Story credentials. The Santa Claus is a modern classic, but he was probably best known for his sitcom Home Improvement, where he hosted a QVC-style show about power tools, so naturally this would make a great platforming game. The game is a fairly basic and relatively solid platformer, just with an extremely loose connection to the sitcom of the same name, minus the weird subtitle. Sailor Moon slots. Here we have the modern entry I was talking about. Yes, the Sailor Moon anime has turned into a coin game, and it's actually not as bonkers as you might think. Online slots machines rely on being bright, colorful, and noisy to attract players, and Sailor Moon ticks all of those boxes, although I don't know if there's much of a crossover between the fans of Sailor Moon and your average slot machine player. P.S. I included the link just in case you don't actually believe me that it's real. Shaq Fu. And finally, we have Shaq Fu, which can almost be twisted around to sound naughty. This 1994 classic for the SNES and Genesis featured the much-loved Shaquille O'Neal saving a young kid from an evil mummy in an alternate dimension. I hear it is actually based off of a true story, but then again, I may have fallen for another fake news classic prank. It is often regarded as one of the worst video games of all time, and it is really quite abhorrent. Error. Content protected by DM.